Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're talking about engineering disasters. And not just any engineering disasters, but the ones that made the whole world stop and say, "Whoa, we messed that up." From bridges that did a little much dancing to spaceships that couldn't tell their miles from their kilometers, we're diving deep into the world of engineering fails. Now, before you engineering students start hitting the unsubscribe button, this isn't about pointing fingers. It's about learning from the mistakes of the past. Because, let's be honest, who hasn't accidentally launched a potato cannon into their neighbor's pool? Okay, maybe that's just me. But seriously, these stories are a reminder that even the smartest people in the room can make mistakes. And sometimes, those mistakes can have huge consequences. So buckle up, grab your hard hat, and get ready for some cautionary tales from the world of engineering. Alright, let's kick things off with a classic, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, also known as Gallopin' Gertie. This bridge, opened back in 1940, was supposed to be a marvel of engineering, connecting Tacoma, Washington to the Kitsap Peninsula. It was sleek, it was slender, and it was about to become a whole lot more famous than anyone expected. See, the engineers who designed the bridge made one tiny little miscalculation. They didn't fully account for something called aeroelastic flutter. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying that the wind can make things wobble. And in the case of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, the wind made it wobble a lot. Just 4 months after it opened, the bridge finally said, "Enough is enough," and decided to take a dip in the Puget Sound. The good news? No one was seriously injured when the bridge went for its swim. Alright, who's ready for a shipwreck story? This isn't just any shipwreck, this is the story of the Vasa, a Swedish warship so powerful, so majestic, so top-heavy, that it sank on its maiden voyage. You heard me right, this ship didn't even make it out of the harbor. Picture this, Stockholm 1628, the Vasa, a floating fortress bristling with cannons, is ready to show the world what she's got. But there's just one tiny problem, and by tiny I mean huge. The Vasa was, to put it lightly, a bit unbalanced. When a slight breeze caught the Vasa's sails, the ship promptly tipped over like a top-heavy toddler taking their first steps. It sank in less than 20 minutes, just 1,300 meters from shore. Now let's talk about a tragedy that hits close to home. The Hyatt Regency Walkway collapse in Kansas City, Missouri. It was July 17, 1981. The Hyatt Regency Hotel was bustling with people enjoying a tea dance in the atrium. Above them, two suspended walkways, one directly above the other, spanned the open space, giving guests a bird's-eye view of the festivities. Then, in an instant, the unthinkable happened. The walkways, unable to support the weight of the people dancing and watching from above, collapsed onto the crowded atrium floor below. The collapse was a result of a seemingly small but fatal design flaw. 114 people lost their lives, and over 200 were injured. Alright, let's talk about a disaster that's practically synonymous with the phrase, "Oh, the humanity." I'm talking, of course, about the Hindenburg. This Zeppelin, a symbol of German engineering and luxury air travel, met a fiery end that shocked the world and pretty much single-handedly killed the airship industry. It was May 6, 1937. The Hindenburg, after a smooth transatlantic flight, was attempting to dock at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. Onlookers gathered, marveling at the sheer size and grace of this technological marvel. But what they were about to witness wasn't innovation, it was disaster. As the airship approached the mooring mast, a fire ignited, engulfing the Hindenburg in a raging inferno. In just 34 seconds, the once majestic airship was reduced to a smoldering wreck. Alright folks, who here has ever messed up a recipe because they used teaspoons instead of tablespoons? Yeah, we've all been there. But when it comes to space exploration, even the smallest measurement errors can have astronomical consequences. Case in point, the Mars Climate Orbiter, a spacecraft that fell victim to the ultimate unit conversion fail. It was 1999. NASA, riding high on the success of the Mars Pathfinder mission, was gearing up to study the red planet's atmosphere and climate with the Mars Climate Orbiter. But there was a slight problem, a problem that could be summed up in 2 words. Metric system. NASA was using imperial units, while the spacecraft's manufacturer, Lockheed Martin, was using the metric system. The spacecraft came in too low, too fast, and essentially went splat on the Martian atmosphere. Let's dive into the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, a disaster in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. The explosion on April 20, 2010, led to the worst environmental disaster in U.S. history. 11 workers died, and oil gushed for 87 days, spilling 4.9 million barrels. The impact was immediate and devastating, killing marine life and crippling industries. Chapter 7. Chernobyl, a nuclear nightmare. Alright folks, let's talk about a disaster that sent chills down the spines of people around the world, Chernobyl. This nuclear accident, which occurred in 1986 in what is now Ukraine, is a stark reminder of the immense power of nuclear energy and the catastrophic consequences when that power is unleashed. It was April 26, 1986, when a series of design flaws and human errors led to a catastrophic power surge during a safety test at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The resulting explosions and fire released a plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating a vast area and forcing the evacuation of Pripyat, the nearby city that housed plant workers and their families. The immediate impact was devastating, with firefighters and first responders bravely battling the blaze and suffering acute radiation sickness. But the long-term effects were even more insidious. Radioactive fallout spread across Europe, contaminating crops, water sources, and entire ecosystems. Alright, let's talk about a tragedy that shook America to its core, the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. This heartbreaking event, which unfolded live on television on January 28, 1986, reminded the world of the inherent risks of space exploration and the human cost of pushing the boundaries of human achievement. It was a crisp, clear morning at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Excitement filled the air as the Space Shuttle Challenger, carrying 7 astronauts including Krista McAuliffe, a beloved teacher selected to be the first civilian in space, prepared for liftoff. Millions around the world watched on television, eager to witness history in the making. But just 73 seconds after liftoff, tragedy struck. A booster rocket failure caused the Challenger to break apart, engulfing the orbiter in a fiery explosion. The world watched in horror as the spacecraft, once a symbol of American ingenuity and progress, disintegrated into a plume of smoke and debris. Let's rewind to 1928 and the St. Francis Dam failure. A wall of water crashed through San Francisco Canyon, reminding us of nature's power and engineering's importance. Completed in 1926, it provided water and power to Los Angeles. But concerns about stability were ignored. On March 12, 1928, the dam gave way. 12.6 billion gallons surged through the canyon, sweeping away everything in its path. Traveling at 25 miles per hour, it caught residents off guard in the night. Alright, let's wrap things up with a disaster that, well, isn't exactly a disaster, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This iconic structure, famous for its, shall we say, unique tilt, is a testament to human ingenuity, albeit accidental ingenuity. The story of the Leaning Tower of Pisa began in 1173, when construction started on what was intended to be a grand bell tower for the nearby Pisa Cathedral. But there was a slight problem, a problem that would become increasingly apparent as the tower rose higher. The tower's foundation was built on unstable, shifting soil, a mix of clay, sand, and shells that wasn't exactly known for its load-bearing capabilities. As a result, the tower began to lean just a little at first, but enough to raise some eyebrows. Construction was halted for almost a century, as engineers tried to figure out how to fix the tilt. But the lean, rather than being a detriment, became the tower's defining characteristic, turning it into a global icon and a testament to the unpredictable nature of, well, nature. Well folks, there you have it. 10 engineering disasters that shocked the world. From bridges that danced to spaceships that succumbed to simple unit conversions, these stories are a reminder that even the most brilliant minds can make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes can have devastating consequences. But these stories aren't just about pointing fingers or dwelling on the past. They're about learning from our mistakes, about recognizing that engineering is a process of constant improvement, and about the importance of humility, vigilance, and a healthy dose of respect for the forces of nature. So the next time you cross a bridge, board an airplane, or simply marvel at a skyscraper, take a moment to appreciate the engineers who made it possible and the lessons learned from those who came before them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating content. Let us know in the comments which engineering blunders shocked you the most.